What an incredibly beautiful child, huh? So innocent, so pure, so perfect. That is Kfir Bibas. This is before he was taken hostage by terrorist lunatics in Gaza. Today is his first birthday. He's 1 year old today. And he's being held hostage by terrorists. And a huge chunk of the world thinks that there are two sides here. If just both sides could settle down. One side is evil. A side that would take a child like this hostage. And I got to admit, I mean, how much have we been thinking about the hostages, right? How much attention the hostages. Who remembers the American hostages that Iran took? You know, at the embassy, we were on the edge of our seat for 444 days, appropriately so. Why is it that these hostages, a baby amongst them, hardly anything, babies, young girls. This is Noah Agarmani. She's 26 years old. Here she is being taken away by terrorists. We know she's alive. There's that. A proof of life video was posted. Here she is in captivity. The barbarians who would do this to women and children, actually any person, but especially women and children, it is a stain all over again. I can't believe that this is happening still. Can you? And meanwhile, the Biden administration, they're just kind of going with the flow, right? Tony Blinken over there, chilling at the World Economic Forum, doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat for these hostages, just wants Israel to kind of, hey, cool it already, all right, with your counterattack, with your rescue operations, with your, it's just indescribable how crazy the world has become. How many days has it been now since October 7th? 103 days. 103 days. We cannot forget. And, you know, I noticed that other hostage campaigns, I mentioned the American hostages, understandably, right? But remember the girls in Nigeria? Bring back our girls. First Lady Michelle Obama, right? A lot of celebrities posting, hashtagging. Celebrities don't want to get too mixed up in the Israeli situation, right? Because, well, a lot of them think the Israelis are the aggressors. Can you believe it? They do. What a perverted, corrupt culture we have. Hey, where's Michelle now? And American babies and toddlers are actually being held prisoner by terrorists. This is her picture today. Here's Michelle Obama at some lair somewhere in the world. Her husband posted this picture, President Obama, celebrating her 60th birthday. More on that bizarre moment in a little bit, but how about that for priorities? You know, the last time children that I know of, children were held by an international power, and I'd have to say Hamas, the Palestinians, whatever, they are something of an international power, right? Saddam Hussein had that little boy, held him and others as human shields. Do you remember that? After he went into Kuwait, he took a lot of hostages and held them with the hope that, hey, they're not going to bomb me if I have this little kid sitting on my lap. This infuriated the world, and the world mobilized. You remember Operation Desert Shield? We had a lot of international support. We moved 500,000 guys over there, soldiers, tanks, planes, you name it. We went over there to do the job and do it right. Not like in 2003, but that's another story. And then there was Operation Desert Storm. Yep, decisive, overwhelming and decisive. That's the way you do war. And we won it in about 100 days. Anyway, that's how we should be rolling. When we do something, we got to do it decisively. And nobody messes with a country that is strong and acts decisively. Our policy for the past 70 years, anybody know the slogan, peace through strength? Peace through strength. It really is profound.
The world now respects America's policy of peace through strength. The United States is again the confident leader of the free world.
For 30 years since the end of World War II, our strategy has been to preserve peace through strength.
In foreign affairs, I'll continue our policy of peace through strength.
America is fulfilling our destiny as peacemaker, but it is peace through strength. We are stronger now than ever before.
Not that long ago either. And for decades, we were consistently. The world didn't mess with us. Joe Biden shows up and everything falls apart. They sense weakness. They saw it. This was really the moment that turned everything around for this country and really for the world. Our horrific exit from Afghanistan. The way it was done, the manner we blew it, and now the Taliban is in control. And after what happened to our Israeli friends, right, what Hamas did, you know what Joe did? Pretty much not much at all. Quiet. After the first day, said something, and then it was, well, I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm not going to say anything about that. And finally, when he did get to the microphone, he said nothing about anti-Semitism and nothing about Iran. Joe is weak. The world knows it, the world sees it, and the world is exploiting it. This is what happens. And this year is really, really dangerous because they know that Joe might be on the way out, right? I mean, he's on the way out one way or the other. This guy can't go on. They can't go on like this. Everybody knows that. So the world is like trying to get their last licks in, right? Because we're on our back right now. We weren't not that long ago because we had a guy in Trump who knew how to lead, knows how to lead, and has been doing it really for most of his adult life.
All through the 1980s, Trump was busy building something new, and it wasn't a skyscraper.
Billionaire developer Donald Trump has put his name on a New York City hotel, shopping center, and apartment buildings, as well as a casino in Atlantic City. And now he's going to put his name on a big piece of Eastern Airlines.
Now the sophisticates out there would say, that's nothing, that's silliness, that doesn't mean anything, it means everything actually. To do that stuff, you have to be a leader, you have to be decisive. You're making things happen out of nothing. Building a building, that is huge. Joe Biden, where has he spent his adult life? Most of it in the United States Senate. One of 100 guys, one of 100 people. Do you learn leadership there? He never had a significant leadership post. Was never a majority leader or minority leader. Where is he? All the way in the back, all the way in the back. Learning, I don't know, not much, right? So look, even his resume stinks for the presidency. He has his brain is failing. He was never that smart, always saying stupid things, lying all the time, and he has no executive experience. Meanwhile, the man with executive experience, with supreme talent, you see what they're doing to him still, this E. Jean Carroll thing. Donald Trump was not at the trial today. He wanted to be, but he couldn't because, well, he had to be by his wife's side for his mother-in-law's funeral. Melania's mother died, and you can't not go to your wife's mother's funeral, right? Do you know what the judge said? This came up as an issue. Can we take the day off? The judge said, you can go to the funeral or you can go to the trial, but you can't do both. Now, a lot of the smart set right away were saying, well, Donald Trump doesn't have to be there. He has lawyers. It's funny because in the first part of the trial, back in May, they were all giving him a hard time because he did not go to the trial. He just sent his lawyers, and they thought that was very arrogant and a big mistake.
Donald Trump was not here. He didn't appear for any part of the trial, and he didn't testify. They called him a no-show. Trump did not come here, did not look them in the eye and deny these claims.
He didn't make an appearance personally.
He did not testify in open court in front of a jury. Period. He did not.
Mr. Trump chose not to attend the civil trial, wasn't in the courtroom when the verdict was read.
A no-show, and that was somehow disrespectful to the system, to the jury. If only he had been there to make his case in person. And now, during the penalty phase, he wants to be there in person. And the same sophisticates, the elite media, right, saying, oh, no, he doesn't have to be there.
Trump voluntarily attends legal proceedings that he does not have to be present for, then refuses to follow the rules, spars with a judge.
He doesn't need to be there. It certainly doesn't help him legally.
The judge there threatening to kick Trump out of court for commenting during testimony that Trump is attending voluntarily. But a very dramatic day there in court.
All right, so for all of them, Trump, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. How about that, huh? It doesn't matter. We're seeing amazing things right before our eyes. They're trying to take him out, but he's just getting stronger. And look at this. We're all seeing it. We can all see. Monday night, he wins the Iowa caucus by record margin. No one has ever done that, 30 points. It's never been done before, all right? The following morning, Tuesday morning, he's in that New York City courtroom. That night, he's in New Hampshire giving a great speech. Wednesday morning, it's back in court. And then Wednesday night, it's back to New Hampshire. Could Joe Biden hack any of this? No, he can't. We all know that, all right? We're seeing it every day. Look at Joe Biden's past couple of days and weeks. Left for Camp David, vacation at Camp David, return from Camp David, go to the Virgin Islands, come home for the Virgin Islands. It goes on like this, on and on and on. Nothing on January 3rd, nothing. Angry speech, time off in Delaware, another angry speech, nothing. So even as they try to take him out, it's just blowing up in their face, isn't it? This big plan, it's not working. And you want to see Joe screwing up today? Why not? All right, we got to make sure that people see this because it's not played by the regular media. Here he is. Well, it kind of tells its story itself.
Appreciate it very much. I also want to mention Congressman Deborah Ross. Where's Deborah? I just had my picture taken with her. That's probably why she left. No, all kidding aside. Anyway, she couldn't be here, actually. That's not true. I got it mixed up. And she has, she fights very hard for the people of this district, and she's up in Washington right now.
The president just should never say mixed up. Should never be self-deprecating, actually. A lot of people in society are very self-deprecating. It's very culturally accepted. Maybe we shouldn't be like that. I don't know. I know this, though. Joe had a role in Donald Trump's legal issues. Absolutely. Donald Trump being arrested all over the place. You think this was not coordinated with the White House? There is ample evidence that it was. Forget the fake news. Actually, you've heard them a bunch. Let's skip that. They're all over the place saying there's no evidence that Joe Biden had anything to do with this, anything to do with these arrests, anything to do with these indictments. Circumstantial evidence is evidence, okay? It is. Here's Joe Biden making a peculiar statement in late 2022, just before Donald Trump announces his run for president.
We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
What about that, huh? What a weird thing to say. What did he say? It's actually because he's mumbling a lot, right? We are just going to make sure that he's not president. We will just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by if he does run. I'm making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. That is a far cry from saying, I'm going to beat him. I'm running and I'm going to beat him. I'm going to get more votes than that guy. No, under the efforts of our, right? They're going to use the Justice Department to get him. And how many days after that did Donald Trump announce for president? November 15th. Let's hear a little bit from that.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
All right, 6 days later, President Trump runs. And shortly after that, how many days later does the Attorney General of the United States announce that Jack Smith character is going to investigate Trump? What is that? Was it 3 days later? Yeah, right in plain sight.
Today, I signed an order appointing Jack Smith to serve as special counsel. The order authorizes him to continue the ongoing investigation into both of the matters that I have just described and to prosecute any federal crimes that may arise from those investigations.
How about that one, huh? All letter of the law. What did Joe say again? Under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again. they're doing it.